So, first things first, I moved! Yay, finally! I'm currently in the room that will be my art studio. It's not finished yet. There's a giant hole in the ceiling over here because there's still a leak in this room. So, I haven't moved all of my stuff over yet, but we're almost there. I thought it would be fun to tell the story of how, this house came to be in my life. It's a funny story that involves ghost hunting and mediums. So, you can't connect the dots looking forwards. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. This approach has never let me down, and it has made all the difference. So let's go back and connect some dots, shall we? This story begins in July of 2023 at my second ever ghost hunt. Me and a bunch of my friends went to a place called Greystone Manor, which is this old haunted house turned in a place called Gasport, New York.
Eli.
Yeah.
It's your first time on a ghost hunt.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I'm pretty excited.
Good. Do you want to see some ghosts?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You can look at it, I don't care. Dude, I'm new to this too, buddy. Amateur hour. This is my second time doing this. Hello.
We didn't experience anything crazy while we were there, but when we were going to bed at night, I could not stay up the whole night. I have a young kid, and there was no way I was going to be able to pull an all-nighter and survive the next day. So it was pretty late, and I was going to go to bed, and one of my friends saw one of the cat balls light up without anybody being around it. And that spooked them so much that everyone else went home. So me and Shane were the only ones left to sleep over at the mansion. Those bastards left us here alone. And then, because we were the only ones there, we got to hang out with the owner of the house, who is a medium, and it does all of that jazz, does Reiki stuff, and she's really cool, and she has a little gift shop in the basement of the house, and I ended up buying a pendulum there.
Well, we bought this house, and then I had to sell the house after, but in a week, both of my houses was sold. I put that in, and it was gone. It was crazy.
It's
an amazing thing.
I bought the house from these people, this couple that lived in Florida, and they were just selling the house because they don't live there anymore.
Yeah.
And it was the perfect size, and they're like, "Yeah, we just want to get rid of it. Take it, go." What? What'd you get?
Can I have this?
Track sugar daddies, I'm right here. So it works. Good job.
Okay. And we were talking about houses. Just some context for where we were at. Shane bought his house in 2018 before all of the housing costs skyrocketed. So we were looking to sell our house and buy a fixer-upper type house with a couple more rooms, a bigger house that we could fix up over the course of many years and live the rest of our life in. We wanted to find our forever home. So at that time I was sending letters to old abandoned looking houses. I would track down the owner of the house, and I sent one letter that I never got a response from, and I was actively looking for old bigger houses that were at least partially livable. The idea I had in my head that I would use the money that we from selling our house to put a down payment on the house and to put into whatever renovations to make that house livable. That was my plan. So when we were talking to the medium about, I think at the time I had just sent that letter, and I really wanted a house. So she showed me kind of how to use the pendulum, and then when I came back home the next day, I used the pendulum, and I have the notebook that I used. Excuse me, I'm just throwing things on the floor, don't mind me. On July 9th, the day after I went to the house, I got from the pendulum September and house. So I got house in September. So I was like, all right, there's something about a house in September. And we're gonna pause here and zoom out a little bit. So I'll have to make a graphic or something so this makes sense. So we're in mid of 2023. So if we zoom out and look at all of 2023, so like, oh, this would be over here. So I have my kid super late December 2022. And so we bring him home from the hospital on New Year's Eve. So 2023 is the first year I'm a mother, like for my first kid. I get married in March 3rd during my maternity leave. I start my YouTube channel along with starting to go ghost hunting with my friends. The beginning of this channel was going to be like a companion piece to the ghost hunting YouTube channel we were gonna create, but none of us knew how to do video production at all. Like none of us had ever edited a video before. So I made this channel to start practicing like video editing, because I realized we were in way over our heads. And then after, in July, like into August, I experienced a lot of pain. I've been experiencing a lot of pain ever since I had my son. And I just like couldn't put a finger on what my health problems were. So at this point in July, it was like getting really bad. And it also is accompanied by a full nervous breakdown or mental breakdown, which causes me to quit my job. Basically, looking back on it now, I akin this time of my life to like, in like The Sims 4, like if you speed run your like the big life events with your sim a little too quickly, like they have a lot of really strong emotional moodlets, and then if like they get a little too playful all of a sudden, they'll go full-blown hysterical and die.
Wow. I think what happened was too many happy things happened to him in such a short amount of time, because I sped up everything, like got engaged, got married, had a baby, went into labor, and he was just so happy that he died.
That's kind of like what I was experiencing, but instead of dying, I just had like a full-blown mental breakdown, which, I'll take. But so 2023 was a crazy year for me. And then in August, on August 8th, my dad calls me and tells me that he bought an old farm with a giant barn that he's going to use for his workshop. And on the property is a very old, rickety farmhouse. And he knew that me and Jane were looking for a bigger house to fix up. And so he was like, yeah, if you're interested, you can come look at it. And he was closing on the property in September. The prediction ended up becoming true. So we got the keys to the house in September of 2023, which is, pretty crazy, pretty magical in my opinion. I mean, is it possible that it's just a coincidence? Of course, there's always a possibility that it's, just a coincidence. But with everything I've been through and everything I've experienced with life, I feel like there is a strong thread of fate that is just pulling me along. And I'm excited to see where it goes. So that was 2023. Many dots were connected in 2023, and then 2024 this year was a lot slower and less eventful, which is very, very good. Probably exactly what I needed. I don't think doing all of that all at once is good for anybody's mental health. So we spent all of 2024 fixing and renovating this house. It's not done yet. We're like halfway done. And I want to shout out my dad, who was the real superstar in all of this. None of this would have been possible without him. He grew up building houses with his father starting at age like 10. So he is a wealth of knowledge. Like, he had to do things like that I don't think you could even pay a contractor to do with this house, as we had to tear everything out of it. He's like the human equivalent to having a legendary Pokemon as a father. I also spent it making videos, making and posting videos, and making a tarot deck that I finished. I'm still working on the booklet. I unfortunately got sidetracked with all of this house nonsense and moving, but I promise it'll be done soon. But the cards themselves are finished. If I could say there was like a theme for 2024, it was like slow, steady progress. Everything was baby steps. It was waking up and trying to tackle a big project every day, or like it was tackling little parts of a big project every day. When you're doing something as big as like ripping out the bones of a house and like having to renovate this whole thing, like it is so daunting and like paralyzing to think of like everything you have to do all at once. But really just focusing on just learning how to like prioritize like the daily tasks and just like chip away at it like day by day was great. Was very good life lesson. Like, I feel like I used to be somebody who felt like she could never accomplish anything, like she could never consistently get her way through stuff. I dropped out of college 3 times. Lots of like I felt like I could never stick to anything. But this year was the year that I stuck things through to the end. And I realized that the path I'm on is working out exactly as it's meant to. Like, when I went to college, I went for the first time I went when I was 18, I went to a private university for entrepreneurship, which is so silly. Like, why go spend so much money at a private university when you can just take that money and start a business? I was strongly pushed to go to college, so that, whatever. But I dropped out the first semester because I, 1, horribly depressed, and 2, like, it just felt like a waste of time to me. Like, I remember going to my first business communications class, and the textbook was so horribly written, like, so, like, intellectually dense. Like, I don't know how to describe it, and I don't have the textbook anymore. Obviously, it's been like a decade, but I joked that it was like written in like I am smart ease, where it is not effective communication in any sense of the word. I've worked like retail customer service, like facing jobs all of my life. And if you want to communicate effectively in a business setting with people, you need to use simple, direct language. And that textbook was anything but simple and direct. It was stupid. So that was like, I just like could not get myself to care. So I dropped out that time. And then I went for art and accounting 2 separate times at a local community college, and also couldn't get myself to care enough to finish. It felt like a waste of time. But I mean, if you look now, entrepreneurship, art, and accounting, that's all. It's all playing out differently, just later in my life. I can't really get over how lucky I feel. Like, I feel like, honestly, like the luckiest person on the planet. Especially with like the move coinciding with Christmas, like the week of Christmas, and then getting like all of these wonderful gifts from everyone, and my son getting all of these giant, beautiful gifts from our gigantic family. It is just wonderful. Like, I cannot convey the amount of gratitude I feel in my bones right now. We were joking, me and my husband were joking that like if karma and past lives are real, I must have like died of dysentery on the Oregon Trail or something. Like something horrible must have happened in my past life. So now everything is like super, super good. So for 2025, I really want this year to be focused on my art and finding my artistic voice in my own like unique art style. That is the goal. I want to just make a lot of fun art, really experiment and have a wonderful time, and grind the art skill. Hey, my cat is being a menace. And then also, finding my voice through media production and YouTube videos and doing like more shorts and that kind of style video as well. I really want to focus on bringing more joy into my life and letting myself be happy and just enjoy when things are going right. Hopefully I can get this video out before January, but if not, I will see you then. And I can't wait to make more videos this year. We went from I don't know specifically the numbers, but we grew 500 subscribers in 2025, we grew 500 subscribers in 2024, and if we continue at the same rate, that means by the end of next year we will be at 1,000 subscribers, and that's YouTube monetization. So that's kind of, I guess, the goal for this channel. So that'll be fun. Woo! And definitely get the Silly Goose Tarot deck published. That's also the major goal, one of the first goals. I'm going to be working on that very diligently behind the scenes, I promise. Moving's just been a lot, okay? Don't yell at me. Yeah, okay, so I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you maybe next week. Who knows? We'll see. Bye.